right, we are live in Rabat, Morocco for Algeria versus Sudan. 3-0 win. Guys, how are we feeling? How is Algeria versus Sudan?
Algeria, all right, 3-0. They deserve it. I can't lie. Go ahead, take it.
Incredible game. Incredible team. Very, very, very good. It's very possible that this team wins AFCON. That's what I think. I think it's possible.
All right, guys, tell me, how was the game today? How was the experience? How were the fans?
How was the game? Yeah, go ahead.
The fans are insane in the best way. Every single part of the stadium was packed with Algerian fans. They had their flags going crazy. They had the music going crazy. They had all the goals. Y'all saw the Trivella pass. Insane scenes.
Yeah, we have to shout out Riyad Mahrez. 2 goals today, scoring in the first minute. AFCON is for the stars, Josh.
Of course. Listen, in these type of matches, you want to start off strong. You start off with your captain. You know what I mean? He's been cool, calm, collected. He collected the Man of the Match award deservedly. He led his team out. He did what he had to do.
Sudan did lose 3-0, but they did their absolute best. Them even being in AFCON is an incredible achievement. We have to give a big shout out to the Sudanese out here. Met some beautiful people, told a lot of beautiful stories, and it's much bigger than football and kind of shows what AFCON's about. So big love to Sudan as well. Big love to Sudan as well.
So, I think one of the things
are they going to win AFCON, bro?
It's possible.
Oh, I will say, the best performance of AFCON was Algeria today, 3-0.
Yes, absolutely.
This was the best performance of AFCON.
Absolutely. I think one of...
All right, guys, let's...
I think one of the best things that we've been able to see, I think, has been the way that these people have played. Guys, so we're going to give them one quick message, quickly, and then you have to go. Okay.
I have a message from American. I'm American.
Yes.
I'm support Algeria and Morocco.
Guys, you see it. The Algerian fans are amazing. Some of the best fans we've seen so far on this tournament. Guys, talk to me. Can Algeria go all the way? Can Mahrez lead Algeria to their 3rd AFCON title?
It's possible. I think it's very, very possible. To reiterate, what we got to see from Algerians today was some of the best football that we've been able to see in the entire tournament. The way that they pass, the way that they move together, the way that they're able to string passes together, and the way that they're able to cohesively play around each other is probably the best football we've seen in AFCON.
I agree.
So for me, based on this performance, what I'm able to say is that Algeria right now are probably favorites.
Listen, in certain ways, Algeria has not lost a step. The guy who scored 2, the guy who collected the Man of the Match award, is the same one who led them to the AFCON title in 2019 in Egypt. Previously in 1990, they won in Algeria. North African teams ball out in North Africa, so you can't count them out.
For sure. And I know y'all all remember the Riyad Mahrez free kick against Nigeria in the semifinals of 2019. First AFCON that I watched, that was an incredible moment. How you feeling, Kendrick?
Yeah, this team is very scary. I'm not gonna lie, but they're the most technically skilled. I feel, at least that we've seen so far. Yeah, like the dribbling, the passing. Like there's a certain way that they glide across the pitch. When you see somebody kind of float across the pitch, that's when you're like, oh, I really might be in trouble. So we got a little one.
All right, guys.
So yeah.
Speaking of AFCON heritage, speaking of Algeria's AFCON heritage, we had some heritage here today. Luka Zidane, Algerian goalkeeper, had a debut today with a very, very, very special guest, Zinedine Zidane, in attendance, guys. Let's talk about it. How was it today? How was it? Do you think he did good?
Of course. I mean, listen, Zidane can't miss, if that's your question. At the end of the day, Algeria has a lot of talent, which can be expressed, obviously, with the local team as well as in the diaspora. As soon as Zizou was on the screen, the stadium went crazy. I forgot football was even going on.
Can we talk about Zizou's fit? Like, he had the Unk swag on lock, looked like the light brown on the shades, that had the wide 3. He was cooling, bro.
He's been recycling that fit, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's just a beautiful example of the diaspora, right? You have the Algerian French player, plays with France, wins the World Cup for them, but then his son decides to play for Algeria, has a chance of winning AFCON for the country. It's a beautiful connection that we always talk about and what makes AFCON special.
I also just want to say shout out to the person who was controlling the boards inside of the stadium, because every 10 minutes, when it kind of the energy dulled just ever so slightly, they just put Zizou on the screen and everybody went crazy again. So shout out to the person that was controlling the boards.
Amazing, amazing. Hey, guys, Luka, he had a great shutout performance, 3-0. Let's talk about it. Algeria, if they were this good back then, would Zizou maybe change his mind? Would he represent Algeria back then? Let's know.
I think the times were a bit different back then, and it was a little bit more guaranteed that the European baller with that sort of heritage plays for the Netherlands, right? Surinamese playing for the Netherlands, Algerian Cameroonians playing for France. The times have completely changed, and it's feeling a bit more 50-50 for those type of guys. So if I was to say if it was nowadays, there's absolutely a chance for it.
At the end of the day, as he's saying, times were different, but the reality of the fact is Zizou's here for a reason.
Yeah.
He's here to support his son. It's not the case of which a French legend will then force his son to go and play for France as well. He sees the value, he sees the connection, and it's a personal connection. Zizou obviously, represented the French well and did what he had to do, but Algeria clearly is where he has his heart as well.
One player we're missing though today, we're going to talk about this diasporan conversation. Ethan Mbappe.
Okay, that's him. Yeah.
Where's he at? Ethan! Ethan, you see the scene. The people want you here.
World Cup, baby.
Mbappe family, get your son out here.
I don't know.
But he's also Cameroonian.
He's also Cameroonian, so maybe come on over
All
to
right, cool, guys. Hey, we got to wrap this up soon, but hopefully we'll see more family members of the Algerian team here. Let's talk about it real quick. Another surprise happening. Burkina Faso, 2 goals at the death.
Crazy game.
Georgie Meningu. Do not forget the name. I first seen Georgie play a few years ago for Seattle. We talked about him actually a couple years ago. He had a major eye injury in training camp and came back and became a starter for the Seattle Sounders. And to see him score at AFCON, yeah, so he had a terrible eye injury. He had an infection in his eye, and he came back. And so technically he's blind in one eye. And so to come out here and score a goal representing your country on the biggest stage is amazing. And honestly, like when we talk about players like Doku, we talk about players like Semenyo, those players that once they see a one-on-one opportunity, they're dicing their man. Georgie Meningu might be the best dribbler I've ever seen in my life, and that's not an exaggeration. So hopefully we get to see Burkina Faso play during this tournament, but don't forget that name.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut you off quick, but Group F is still underway. Ivory Coast playing Mozambique, and Seb, your home country, Cameroon.
Sebastian!
Let's make it quick, but let's make it passionate. Let's talk about Cameroon.
Cameroon gets to play tomorrow, right? So I have to make it quick but passionate. I think Cameroon, with our 2 squads and our multiple coaches and everything and all the abundance that we have, will abundantly go on and perhaps win AFCON. That's how I think.
Wow. Crazy taste. All right, guys, it was amazing. We had a great time. We'll see you next time. 5ASIDE on beIN Sports. Catch AFCON every day on beIN Sports.
On beIN Sports.
Morocco versus
Bye.
Have a good one. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Keep it.
Thank you.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.